now, sorry, not to go back.
Question pa lang yun, Roma!
Sa susunod pa pala. Okay, mamaya
Wait,
na ulit
naiyak
yung
muna ako
series.
dito.
Nag-walk out.
Nag-walk out.
Okay, sige, ito na. My next question is, can you share a memory or a kwento when you acted deadma as if you're not affected at all, pero deep inside, gusto mo nang either magwala, pwedeng because you're kinikilig, pwedeng sobrang galit, pwede ring happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Na parang, nung moment na yun talagang dead mo ka lang, parang wala. Pero deep inside, ang dami-dami mo na emosyon. That's parang may fireworks of emotions na sa'yo.
Ang hirap mamili na isa, Roma, kasi kung sinabi mong galit, pero medyo marami. Pero, ano doon?
Kayo mamili. Just isa lang. One each. So, kayo mamili kung ano gusto nyo. Pwedeng kilig, pwedeng galit, pwedeng happiness.
Yeah. My first actual partner, we were together for 5 years, basically. And nakwento ko rin naman sa Mad Manila podcast. I made a mistake before. I chose to make a mistake before. So I cheated. And so I said that if ever it comes to a point where we have to, sunder or part ways, that I will not be the one to say it. I will not be the one to ask for a separation between the two of us.
So, hindi ikaw yung kakanta nung kay Jimmy Bondoc na Let Me Be the One.
Oo, hindi talaga.
Mas lalong hindi niya nakakantahin ngayon yun kasi si Jimmy Bondoc,
ayoko talaga siya. Ayoko. Correct. Ganyan. No, but, so we stayed together for the kids.
We stayed together. Magugulo na yung listeners natin.
Bakit siya nagkaroon ng kids bigla? May sinapupunan po kasi ako para lang malinaw na sa lahat. No, but we decided to stay together. But it was a bad romance. When it was good, it was good. At the slightest provocation, we would explode, as in really, really, really bad. And when I say slightest provocation, it could be just because I didn't take an offer for another cup of rice. Parang ganyan. Kasi ganun lang siya kaliit. Pag-aawayan siya. And it became so bad that a part of me was already waiting for him to tell me, you know what, I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. It's just not working out for me. But over time, I felt that he was already drifting away from me and that I do not fit his requirements anymore of what a partner should be. So finally, there was one time where we had a fight over such a very trifle thing. And then we didn't talk for 2 weeks. So we stayed in the same house, we slept in the same bed, but we didn't speak to each other for 2 weeks.
Wow.
I had to go to the province because my cousins came back home from overseas. So we didn't see each other for 3 days. And then when I came back, he was there already waiting. And when it was just the two of us in the room, he asked me, "Oh, ano bang gusto mo? Where do you want to take this?" I said, "You tell me. What do you have in mind?" He said, "Alam mo, sa akin okay lang if we end it." That's how we ended. That was my first ever breakup. I didn't know that was how breakups felt like. I mean, I know not all breakups go that way, but it was the first time I've ever had to break up with someone, or someone ever had to break up with me. But I knew it was coming, but nothing prepared me for that. But because I knew in my heart that I made a promise that I will not ask him to stay if he wants to go already, I said, okay, sige. And then I just acted as if it was okay, everything was fine. And I was able to keep that up for a couple of days until I started seeing him pack his bags or...
Totoo na to. Ito na talaga. It's happening. It's happening.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know kung show lang pa yun because he didn't leave the house until 1 month later. But we would sleep in the same bed. But parang napapasok na siya every time our skin would touch. And because we're so used to doing things together, like things that sound like sex, with each other, we were technically no longer together, but we were still doing it. But he wouldn't kiss me anymore, Like,
Parang one night
what?
stand. Parang
Oo, at
ano.
parang pokpok na lang ako na binayaran.
Oo,
Alam mo yon.
talaga.
Tapos di
Na
ka pa
parang,
kumita talaga nun.
Oo.
oo, tsaka parang sabi ko, "Lo, parang hindi ba ako pretty, ah?" So sabi ko, parang, hindi ba ako pretty ngayon? Is that why you don't want to kiss me
I
anymore?
feel so
But,
used.
I know, as in, ganyan talaga, Rose. But,
Yung kumot nakaganon, ano?
tapos yung yosi mo na ganyan, parang, pabalik ka na ba sa asawa mo? Hindi. But, ayun, when he told me 2 weeks later that he was already seeing another person,
2 weeks later?
2 weeks later, kitty
Oh
girl,
my God. Okay.
that's when it hit.
Okay.
That's when
Gusto
it hit.
mag-move
As
on,
in,
ah.
oo, na parang ako, I never thought I
Magagalit
would
si
do this.
John Lloyd niyan. May 3-month rule.
3-month rule, ayun nga. I never thought that I would do this, but I literally groveled. One time, we did it, diba? And then he stood up. We did it, he didn't kiss me. He stood up, and then he said, "Oh, I'm gonna go." And then I said, "Please stay." Tapos alam mo yung hindi man ako nakahiga eh, pero I was on the floor, basically parang nakaupo ako sa floor, nakasalampak. And then I hugged his knees, and I asked him, "Please stay. Please don't go."
Aww. Ayun, lalabas yung
and
mga
then-
dog. Aww.
Oh, hindi na ba ako pretty, ah? And then he said, "You know what? The reason why I stay is because I want to see. I just want to see if you've already changed." So like, what the fuck? But please stay. But he didn't stay. He ended up leaving anyway. But you move on from things like that. But it hit me really hard, and that sent me to an actual clinical depression. As in, I was seeing a doctor afterwards. Alam mo yun? 3 years after we separated, that was the only time when we were able to speak with each other without hurling hurtful words at each other, and we were able to talk to each other as friends who spent 5 years of their lives together. Yun. Napaka-downer ng mga kwento ko. Ba't ganito, Roma?
Ewan ko, ikaw namili niyan. O ikaw,
Ano,
Marga,
pretty,
papatalo
ah?
ka ba?
Siyempre, wala akong kwentong ganun, no? Wala akong kwentong ganun na yung mga aso lalabas.
Wala kang hinag sa knees.
Oo, wala akong hinag sa knees. Sinuntok ko sa knees.
Sa kneecap, yung pala may utang sa'yo, no?
Sakit.
Babayad ka o babasagin ko yung tuhod mo?
Oo. Alam mo ako, I don't have a story about love na parang feeling ko sobrang laki ng regrets ko because I feel like I haven't really been that emotionally invested in a person. Dahil nga lagi namin joke yan na may issues ako with intimacy, and yes, I do. It's mostly because of my childhood that I really can't, parang sobrang hirap mag-risk emotionally because of what you went through as a kid. Pero most of my regrets, one of the deadma moments for me is, di ba, we were raised na we should never go against our elders, we should never speak up. And there have been many moments dahil nga ang buhay namin growing up was very difficult, money issues a lot. It means that a lot of people in the family would always badmouth you and your parent, di ba? So, may mga moments ng mas bata ako na talagang how I wish that I really spoke up. There was this one time na one of my relatives, as in, no prompting, wala akong sinasabi, nakaupo lang ako sa tabi niya. Suddenly, this person started telling me a lot of bad things about my mom. Tapos parang, unprovoked. Tapos parang ako,
Hindi niyo ba alam na anak ako? Nakalimutan niyo ba yun?
Bitch! I'm ready to fight, bitch!
Pero
Yeah.
nalimutan niyo ba anak ako nung sinasabi niyo?
tapos
Diba?
yung isang pinsa naka-close ko was sitting on the other side of the tita. Nagkatinginan kami. Tapos parang ako, paano ba ako magre-react? Magiging bitch ba ako? And I knew that if I spoke up and tried to make them stop, they would say a lot more.
Yes.
Alam mo yun, sa ganyan, pag ikaw ang black sheep, wala kang magagawa eh. They would always say it that way. And that's fine, di ba? Walang problema sa akin yun kasi they don't know our lives. Pero may yung moment na yun, parang inisip ko, I was quiet then. Tapos sabi ko, okay po, ganun lang. Pero that time, parang inisip ko, lang yan naman kayo kung hindi ko lang kayo mga kamag-anak, nakatikim na kayo sa akin. And I was younger then. I was in my early 20s. Isipin mo early 20s, ibig sabihin medyo matanda na ako. It took me the last few years to actually start speaking up whenever someone says something bad
Mm.
Alam mo talaga, Kitty girl, when you're in your 40s, that's when you start thinking like
We hate you.
Excuse me. I'm only in my late 20s. Nagsinungaling pa din.
So mga 2 years ago lang pala yun.
Oo. Mga 2 years ago lang yun. Ayun, yun yung mga sobrang dead man. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that.
Mhm.
Kasi ganun ang turo sa atin eh. Pag mas
Yes.
matanda, wag kang lalaban. Pero you know what? There's a way to speak up without being rude. They would always perceive it naman as rude eh. Pero at least other people would say na hindi man mali yung sinabi mo. Okay na
Yeah.
yun.
And
Hindi
what's
man
wrong
mali.
is wrong regardless of who does it. Diba?
Yes.
A baby does it, it's wrong. An older person does it, it's wrong. A high
Yes.
school a high school person does it, it's wrong. But maybe you're just gonna, extend a little bit more understanding towards minors. But if it's a person who's already gone through life and who thinks that they have an opinion on yours, if it's wrong, it's wrong.
Yeah, and not because you're older, ibig sabihin, you're wiser or lagi
That's
kang
true.
tama. Diba?
That just
Older
means you're
people
older.
always think kasi na it's
Tanggal ng salamin.
diba? Because they always think that being old is a license that you can be an asshole to people around you.
It's true.
True. Yes.
Ayun.
That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.